But to finish off with Sweeney Todd, of course, it all ends in death. It all ends in retribution. The madness takes over. Actually, if you think about it, madness is one of the very Victorian tropes and even stereotypes. And we have it shown through different lenses from the different points of view, different characters. There is the beggar woman, so Lucy, the wife of Sweeney. There is the moment when Joanna is threatened by the judge, who tries to send her to a very notorious and darkly Victorian stereotypical asylum, pretending that she is insane. Of course, the most insane person around is Sweeney Todd. So again, spoiler alert, he tries even to murder his nearest and dearest. He kills Lucy, not knowing it was her. Then he learns that he had just murdered his wife, so he kills Mrs. Lovett. He would kill Joanna as well, but or at least she manages to escape with the help of Anthony. So at least the young lovers survive. He kills the judge, of course, yes, so he has his revenge, but it's completely meaningless at this point. And in the end, of course, Sweeney Todd has to die because he would be killing up till today, so we need to take him out of the picture, and this is the young boy, Tobias, who avenges, who actually starts on his own path of revenge, avenging the death of Mrs. Lovett, the only person who ever cared for him, however bad she was, and he kills Sweeney Todd. We may or may not think about how revenge will corrupt the young Tobias. But the story of Sweeney Todd is ended, and we have this very clever and very beautiful framing device in the prologue and the epilogue. So the company song, the chorus, almost like the Greek chorus in classical theatre and classical tragedy, singing the song, the Ballad of Sweeney Todd. At the very beginning of the show, it's even started by the organ prelude, so it became solemn, almost religious tone to the whole thing. Just like in ancient Greece, the tragedy was there to show people the way of compassion by showing them human weakness and human madness. That's really the point. If we think of classical theatre and the meaning of tragedy, and of course those Gothic musicals are mostly tragedies, of course with some elements of humour, but they are mostly tragedies. I would say Sweeney Todd is definitely a tragedy because it's about loneliness, about alienation, about mistake, the tragic mistake that sets the main character against the whole world. So that's really the story about a lonely, misguided individual, and we can be thrilled by his crimes, we can be appalled by his crimes, but ultimately, like in the classical tragedy, we are induced to pity him and to take some lesson from his misfortune, from his downfall. I strongly encourage you to do a little bit of research into the person of Stephen Sondheim. He's 90 years old now, so he's been around for a long time. There are very many interviews and documentaries. There is a very good documentary called Six by Sondheim about the 6 songs. He chooses 6 songs from his shows which for him symbolize important moments in his life. He is a deeply, I would say, nice and pleasant and humanist man. He has worked with students a lot, with students of theatre, of theatre direction and actors, and there are quite a lot of interviews in which he interacts with students. So he would be a wonderful teacher to have, really. If you read or see any of the biographical interviews or written biographies, there have been quite a few of them. You will know that he had quite a tragic childhood. He had a very difficult relationship with his mother. He is also gay. He had problems with that, with his self-identity. He actually admits in one of the interviews that he found personal happiness, or actually the courage to look for personal happiness relatively late in life. Let's hope he's happy now. Especially in American culture, he's a big name, and there have been quite a lot of references in popular culture to him, to his works. You may recall an American comedy from 2004 called Jersey Girl with Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, and there is a wonderful scene. This is a story about a widower raising a small daughter, and this daughter goes to school, and the school has a kind of activity for the families. They are encouraged to present a scene from their favorite musical, and almost all, if not virtually all, children present Memory from Cats. But the little girl, what's her name, Gertie, she wants to present a scene from Sweeney Todd with her family, with the friends and relatives cast as different characters, and she is playing a comical scene in which she, the little girl, is dressed up as Mrs. Lovett, and she's singing about the joy of serving pies made with human meat. So look out for those Stephen Sondheim moments. Another film you may recall, The Marriage Story, the film that got a few Oscars recently. There are moments when the characters sing Stephen Sondheim songs. So yes, he is a big name. He's not the easiest composer, and some say that his musicals are a kind of gateway to modern opera, not the classical 19th century opera of Verdi or Puccini, but the modern 20th century opera with more demanding music, but usually stronger theatrical plots. So we will meet the works of Stephen Sondheim at least once more, and we will definitely meet a few works by his great, believed to be, rival Andrew Lloyd Webber. But now I would like to move to another Gothic musical, that is Jekyll